What's up, Madden players? ZFarls here with your Madden Ultimate Team reviews for Monday. Remember, we'll be streaming later tonight on twitch.tv/Madden Tips, but it's a secret stream, so don't tell anybody. New items coming in today. We're going to look at the legends from over the weekend. We tweeted these out, but we didn't really comment on them too much. First up is Steve McNair and then Jack Youngblood. Look at these guys right here. 99 McNair at quarterback, and then the boss edition of Jack Youngblood. Great name, football guy, Madden guy right here. 86 speed, 95 power move, stock. That is pretty beastly. Let's dive in and see what these chemistries do for these players. Conductor on the Steve McNair, very valuable. 87 speed, that's right up there with some of the best in the game. 90 agility. 64 cap, Aaron Rodgers at 60, Russell Wilson at 60, 62. A little more for Conductor, 68, but you're not paying that Vic price. If we boost up there, Chain Mover, you see him at 97 short, 95 mid. I'm okay if you don't want to activate that because while it is very good, sometimes you can just go too high. That could even be considered overkill. Now he's got bruising back as a ball carrier. This is very interesting chemistry for a quarterback. Gives him 84 truck. He's got 78 strength, 83 carry. That's good. I don't really want my quarterbacks carrying the ball, even if they have very high carry. Even guys like Cam Newton can fumble, lay it down, so I'm always going to slide. I don't really want to break tackles unless I have to, unless it's a fourth down and I'm a yard short. But overall, I think this McNair is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. His one item that I played with quite a bit earlier in the season had some errors when I would throw high point passes in the middle of the field, but grabbing him up to 95 or 94 really should limit that. 93, even good enough. So I really like this McNair. I think I will test him out. He's right-handed. Vic, he's very expensive, and his cap is a big hit. So this McNair could kind of find that balance. I would compare him to Aaron Rodgers. I just think his price is still high coming in from legendary status. The other version of him, the Ultimate Edition, still has Conductor. Now he's a little bit lower rated, but even this one I still think gets 90s all the way across the board and should play really, really well. If we look real quick at the Skill Edition, this one's good, but his deep accuracy is a little bit low along with his THP, but he does have Conductor. The Speed Edition's only got 85 speed, which you would expect to see a little bit higher. Strength Edition is not low, and then you have some Chemistry and Rookie Editions. This could be a cap option if you really wanted to tank your quarterback for some reason and get a 44 cap quarterback with Conductor. Maybe something to look into. I'm not going to mess around with it, though. For Youngblood, look at these ratings, and we'll look at these chemistries also. So this is the standard Youngblood. 86 speed. That's a little bit slow, but he does have 90 acceleration. And when I say it's slow if you want to man him up. But if you slide this guy into defensive tackle, it's really good. Plus, he's got 94 block shed, basically as good as some of the defensive tackles out there. Hit power, maybe a little bit low for end game ultimate all-time Jadeveon Clowney style legend that we saw last season, but I'll take 90 hit power with this active. So he jumps up to 97 power move. I would say the one fault beyond just 86 speed is his finesse move is low. So if you're user rushing with this guy, you can trigger the power move every time, but the finesse move is low. So if his CPU is going to play a finesse move, its best chance is going to be a power move. Some of the better rushers in the game are more balanced with maybe 90s at both. But as far as a beef, even though he's a little bit undersized, his strength and block shed should be plenty on the defensive line. And then 97 power moves, one of the highest in the game with 91 acceleration. So I will test this guy out, but there's some really, really good options that you could probably get for about 200K. So if his price comes down, I don't personally use jump the snap, even though I like it. It's not something with the way I use or my defense that I use too much. So something to look at for these legends, but I like them. These Ultimate Legends are starting to get really, really good, and you're starting to have a really lot of options at the top end if you're building your squad. If you're a budget guy, the Strength Edition could be somebody you get at end and then drop him in the middle for some beef. Chemistry is a cheap jump snap guy if you wanted to maybe go low on the line and see if you could utilize that skill to the best of your ability if you're still building your squad. And then the Skill Edition, pretty good if his price comes way down. Speed Edition, not that fast at the end of the day. So that's the Youngblood I would go for, just basically the The ultimate, possibly, let's see what his price comes in at, $440. So he's about half. He's going to end up at about half of whatever the ultimate ends up at. So good guy right there. I'm really looking forward to Too Tall Jones, his ultimate legend, if he is to get one, because I've heard his base is pretty much the best young guy in the game. But I did have some trouble facing a guy like Youngblood earlier in the season. Now, they snuck in a couple items. They always seem to do this, man. They're putting out so much good content this season. This is Zach Brown band. 96 speed right outside linebacker, 91 speed, and he has coverage linebacker, which means he's going to jump up well above that. So he's 6'1". He's got 88 zone coverage. You're going to boost up his tackle machine and his coverage linebacker. You're going to get him to 90 zone. His play recognition is 94. Strength is his one weakness, but with that speed at 92 at right outside linebacker, you can pretty much do anything with this guy. 93 acceleration. Compare him to the Sean Taylor. I'm thinking that this is a expensive option, but I love what he does for defenses. You want to get him in situations where he can hold up with his block shed, but you don't want to put him off that edge if you can help it. Think of him like a Telvin Smith. Find a way to get him into zone coverage where he can use his play rec, or man him up and use that speed to your advantage. 82 man is rock solid. Love Zach Brown, and I'm glad that they snuck him in with some new options. Now, this Dennis Pitta is much better than I thought he was going to be. Let's really dive into what he brings. He has 94 route running, and you know I love to get it for 96. Similar to Dallas Clark, who's an option. The slot expert is going to boost you up to that 96. 85 speed's a little slower than Dallas Clark, but that's okay because he does more. He's taller, I believe, and also he's 6'4". And then he has 93 spectacular catch with 95 catch in traffic that will get boosted to 97 if you utilize DeAndre Hopkins in your lineup, who I believe pretty much everybody should be trying to get in their lineup at this stage of the game. He is really one of the first all-around tight ends. Even though his strength is a little bit low as a receiver, the fact that he still has the size to catch in traffic and spec, along with this level of route running, to me is amazing, and really surprised by this Dennis Pitta, a great all-around tight end. Now, Jonathan Joseph has gotten a few items at the start of this season, and then he went quiet for a while, but I loved his man coverage to start, and I loved his speed. Now, because he had a gap where he didn't quite get so many items, he has 95 play rec at this point, but he had just had the team hero and the base, and those were two budget guys I recommended with my budget sheet early in the season. If you want a pure man coverage team, you add this guy, you boost him up. Houston is probably not something you're going to go for. You can't get his man coverage to 96 with his chemistry, so he does suffer a little bit there. He's really weak, and he's not a great cover 2 style safety, so not a lot of people are using this type of item in the game. They're using more hitters. He's just kind of a guy who can't really press, just has good speed, and he's a little bit short. So I would pass on the Joseph, but there was a lot of potential early in the season for this Joseph. If he had gotten one more item, he'd be at 96 or a different chemistry that wasn't Houston. He has the speed. If this game was a man coverage game, you could really go with him, but he just misses having a great Ultimate Team season, but somebody maybe to look out for next year. Now, the reason we're here today is because we have more season stars. This is group number 5 of the season star programs. 3 the first 3 weeks, 1 last week, 1 this week. It's Terrelle Pryor and Damon Harrison, and that's Terrelle Pryor, the receiver, of course, not the quarterback that you see in Ultimate Team from time to time. 92 speed. Now, he has a budget version that people really like on their salary cap teams when they're trying not to spend a lot of cap. He's 6'4" with 94 spec, so quite a good way to get it going. He doesn't have the route running, but he does have the catch in traffic. I personally would utilize a bigger guy like an Alshon Jeffrey, like a Kelvin Benjamin, who's a little bit slower, maybe 88 speed, or a Brandon Marshall, who can at least block on the edge and then has a spectacular catch to match. That's where I would go, so I would pass on the Pryor. But he does have deep threat and chain mover, which you can jump him up to 95 spec with 92 catch in traffic. But with 80 strength, that is actually really good. And his run block, let's see where it's at, 68. So it could be a little bit higher. But I'll take Fitz, especially for 355. This is a 100 and this isn't a big time cost receiver at the end of the day. So don't go too crazy for this Terrelle Pryor because there's some cheaper guys that fit what you want to do for some of those routes that you can throw. We'll jump into Damon Harrison here. Snacks. Slow with 66 speed, but beefy with 94 strength, 92 power move, and 96 block shed. So what you would buy the Damon Harrison for is the strength and the block shed. Plus, he's 350 pounds, and we found out that that does factor in. He's got inside blitzer and tackle machine. So you're going to get 99 block shed, 95 strength, 98 tackle, and 94 power move. That means you could leave him in the game even though he's a little bit slower. But is it worth it? Because there's other guys that you can boost up and get. You're not really going to get 99 block shed with many guys that are that cheap, but you can get the weight and the strength portion of that for less than 300K. I bet he settles down about 100,000 lower or so, 200K, possibly at 150. Unless you're building the ultimate team or you really can't, like the best of the best ultimate team, or you really can't stop the run, I would say pass on Snacks, because the defensive tackle position is just a place where you can find some of what he does, and then you can sub out Brandon Williams and grab some guy that has 94 power move and slide him in. So I love this Snacks if I want to just set him in my lineup and forget about it and see if he can get in there with that power move. But I would pass on it for now. But I'm passing on a guy with 99 block shed, so don't feel like I'm dogging him, because he is my Giants guy, and he got through the line of scrimmage and forced so many tackles for losses this year that I love the way he played for us. But that's the only reason that I would say is you could just find better value. That's what this channel is all about, trying to help you guys build your ultimate teams to the specifications that you have. All right, quick four right here. Brian Hoyer. Conductor on a Brian Hoyer at 50 cap with 90, 90, 90, 88. So what you got to do here is utilize this new mud head, see if that chain mover can get his deep. It cannot. So the chain mover can't jump him up to 90. And at 75 speed, that's as slow as you can possibly go. You kind of really want about 81. We saw guys like Matt Ryan scramble a little bit in some recent events. And that is big if those edge blitzers are coming in, edge blitzers, and you want to just get right up the middle. So it's a little bit slow, but this is almost a sneaky salary cap guy. If somebody was going to try and work it with him, he would be like a great base quarterback for some budget squads. Like, say if he was your salary cap guy that everybody had to use and everything was balanced, like that is the minimum I think you'd want to go at this point. Jatavis Brown, let's look at him. So he's a middle linebacker. Now he's only 5'11". He's got 88 speed though, which I like, and 88 hip power. But at 5'11", it's a little bit tough, for him to be the guy you want to use her in the middle, even with 89 speed and 86 jump. But 82 zone is good, and the play rack at 87, you'd want to see if you could jump it up. You can't get it to 90 because Tombo's only going to get you 89. So if it was 90, I'd let him be on his own with that 90 speed and that great cost. Still a really, 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 really good value middle linebacker. Give him a shot if you don't mind some height missing from him. This could be a guy, I'll still take the Bud Dupree or the Anthony Barr. There's cheaper versions of Bud Dupree out there. That's where I'm going to go, even though he's an outside guy, but you move him to the middle, and I think he gets it done. But I would expect many budget players to pick this player up. This season Stars program has been a budget gold mine, and I've got one more for you here. So Powell, I would pass on 90 speed with 88 agility. Usually for elusive backs, the agility is with the speed. Usually for truck backs, the agility is below the speed, but he is an elusive back, not a truck back. So he's got route running out of the backfield, probably has pretty good catching stats, but that's just not something I'm looking for in a halfback with only 90 speed. So I'll pass on Powell. And then Artie Burns. So let's talk about Artie Burns, and let's talk about the best CBs in the game, because this program right here, the Season Stars, has brought us some really, really good corners. And I said it earlier that your corner should basically be at 92 speed or 93 speed with 93 zone. And when you've got a pick specialist and lockdown triggered up for you, you jump from 92 speed and 93 zone, which is that base that I like that I've talked about, up there. Plus he's 6 feet. I like 6'1" Willie Brown, but he's more expensive. I bet his price falls. You got to go through these Season Star programs and find a way to add a bunch of them to your lineup. You play that zone coverage. You grab Tamba. He jumps above 90 play rec, which I need to have. And I think this guy balls out for your budget defense. Artie Burns, he'll come down in cost grab him, grab season stars, stack that budget squad. Start to change up your defense here at the end of the season with some of the options that are available to you in Ultimate Team. You should really be starting to build depth through your lineup and not just focusing on getting the best guy at each position. You should be grabbing depth, and continuing to stack your lineup. So that's what I think about these new items in Ultimate Team. And we've got some good legends. I mean, this McNair, I can't wait to see what he does. And I think that he is a very reasonable value for his speed. He's not overkill. His strength, hopefully if he can just get that ball out or carry it a little bit more solid, plus that salary cap cost, I think it's respectable at this moment. And he's got conductor. So way to go, McNair. Air McNair, that will be the biggest takeaway from this. All right, guys, let me know in the comments which season star you're going to go after, if you like any of these players, or if you're building, a team based on them, who is balling out in your lineup, some of those other CBs. So let me know, and until next time, this is ZFarls reminding you to lock up and look out for a secret stream coming in on twitch.tv/Madden Tips. Don't tell anybody, but I'll see you.